20 minutes past 6. Welcome back to Breakfast. This segment is brought to you by Fisher Funds. As we all know, the US election is just around the corner, and it's clear whatever the outcome, the effect on global markets will be felt. Here to talk to us about how investors might prepare or what we could do with our KiwiSaver accounts is Fisher Funds Portfolio Manager, Harry Smith. Harry, welcome back. Good to see you.
Hey, Daniel. How are you?
Good. I'm good. So can elections, like the US election, have an impact on our KiwiSaver investments?
Good question. Look, I think elections are always really interesting, right? Especially when you've got the US election, given its role in the world. And in this election in particular, there's been a few plot twists, hasn't there been?
Yeah.
So there is
and they're still coming.
Yeah, they're still coming, yeah. So there is a huge amount of interest out there.
Okay.
What I would say, if you have a KiwiSaver or you have other investments, your time frame is probably not the next 2 weeks until election day. It's probably much longer, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And so if you're looking at your KiwiSaver or your investments through that lens, the election doesn't really move the needle. But like I said, you know, there is a huge amount of interest out there in this US election, so a lot of friends and family are asking me how their portfolios are going to perform. And I tell them a few things. Firstly, don't concentrate on the who, no matter what your beliefs are.
Okay.
You probably know better than me, Daniel, that what our politicians say on the campaign trail doesn't always come to fruition. And then secondly as well is that, you know, the equity markets have gone up under both Democratic and Republican administrations. And I think under Trump, the equity markets went up roughly 60%, and under Biden, the equity markets are up around 50%, right? So really good returns for investors under two different administrations there.
Okay, so if elections don't matter much, what does make a difference?
I think what does matter is economic forces end up outweighing political forces, right? So there I'm really talking about things like economic growth or consumer spending, that sort of thing. What can make elections really difficult is you're trying to predict an event, and I think that is a really hard thing to do, right? And then when you think about the markets as well, it's not just predicting the winner, it's then also trying to estimate how the market is going to perceive that winner. And here, 2016 is a great example with Trump. You know, Hillary Clinton was ahead in the polls, and then there was many market commentators that said that, you know, the markets were going to tank if Trump got elected. Now, what we saw is Trump obviously became president, but then the markets actually rallied. They didn't tank, they rallied after he became president because the narrative shifted and started focusing on infrastructure spend and tax cuts. So if I was looking at today, you have Harris, who is offering more support to families, first home buyers potentially, but has higher corporate tax rates. Yeah. You have Trump with the tariffs, but lower corporate tax rates. And then you have economists saying that both are going to add to the US deficit, which is already quite wide, and both are going to add to US debt, right? So for long-term investors, it's just really hard to know what the market is going to focus on in terms of the positives or the negatives of that outcome. So for investors or KiwiSaver, just focus on your own goals or your own ambitions would be my message.
I was going to ask that, Harry. So should KiwiSaver investors do nothing?
Well, I can't answer that for every investor or every KiwiSaver holder, obviously, but what I can say is that it goes back to your time horizon, right? So it goes back to that 10, 20-year time horizon, if that's what it is for you, and then not getting swayed or pulled into what is just a short-term event, because I think that starts to head towards the realm of speculation as opposed to investing.
Right.
So just concentrate on what your own goals or ambitions are, would be my message.
As always, great advice. Harry Smith, thanks for coming in.
Cheers, Daniel.